Welcome back, Otafest listeners. It's the newest episode of the Otafest podcast.
Hooray!
I'm Jay.
I'm Dio.
I'm Angelo.
And we are in the midst of quite the situation in the world, aren't we?
The world is ending.
We're here with our special guest, Coronavirus.
Woo!
It's the one guest we didn't want.
Yes. No, actually, nobody at Otafest that we know of, staff-wise, has had any direct contact with coronavirus or anything like that, and we hope that
As of
you
recording,
listening,
nobody is compromised.
and we hope that you are in the same boat, or if you aren't, well, I hope that you're taking the necessary measures to take care of yourself.
If you are in quarantine right now, please let us know, and thank you for enjoying our podcast.
Yeah. Actually, before we get too far, I'm sure a few folks here are wondering about the state of Otafest during these difficult times. In which case, we are acutely aware of our community's concerns regarding COVID-19 and its impact on Otafest 2020. Thank you for your ongoing support, and please visit otafest.com/COVID-19 for any updates regarding COVID-19 and our convention. Whether you're a volunteer, exhibitor, attendee, or partner, our community's health is our greatest priority in these difficult times. Please visit otafest.com/COVID-19 for continued updates from our organization, and please stay safe.
Yes. Take care of yourself.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty crazy stuff. I'm pretty sure a lot of us didn't ever really think that it would get to this point.
Well, it's kind of common where people go to conventions and then they get sick after, but usually that's because they're not taking care of themselves or they're not getting enough sleep.
Yeah.
And usually it's like
right now it's an
normal,
actual global
cold
pandemic.
Right.
and flu. And,
I know a lot of folks have been sent to work from home.
I have been one of such people.
Right. I don't work in an industry that allows me to do such a thing. Angelo is sort of in a low-risk industry.
Unfortunately, I can't turn a computer off and on again without being at the computer.
Yeah.
In fact, my whole job is turning off and on again the computer when people are 1,000 miles away from the computer.
The ideal IT solution.
Indeed.
I'm damn good at turning them off and on again.
You are. I have the luxury of I work in the tech industry, and so I have a laptop, so I can comfortably work from home, and just in a matter of, I work in a downtown, in the downtown core, so to mitigate, people bringing things in, coming in contact with people on public transit, and walking around downtown and such.
Yeah, at this point in time,
we're working from home.
At this point in time, there have been multiple health advisories, such as our favorite term of the year, self-isolation and social distancing.
Social distancing,
yes. Right? Which we are practicing very well by collecting here together to record a podcast.
Indeed.
I did think about it. I was like,
we
I don't know
could have done this over Discord.
But no. First of all, Discord is having issues.
Yes, we're gonna get to that.
We'll get there. Yeah,
we could have spun up a Ventrilo server.
And I'm not saying that maybe this was the wisest decision, but I considered things not just about producing a podcast, but I did think about what is it that we do, and what is our sort of exposure level risk? And I was like, I don't Dio likes to stay home. Angelo likes to stay home.
Me and Dio live together.
Yeah.
And we have not been compromised.
Yeah, and I was like, I'm sure Dio's I didn't actually know, but I was like, I'm sure Dio's already working from home, and I know where Angelo works, and he doesn't really work.
He doesn't work with people.
The closest I get is the UPS guy.
Yeah, and I will say I'm the closest one to that work that I would work with people, except I work with people in very limited cases.
Yeah.
And not in a specific health related thing. That being said, to be totally honest, it would be a valid option to not have proceeded.
I think we're okay as well because we all know each other's risk level.
Yep.
We're not out and about. We didn't go to a restaurant. We're meeting at someone's home.
Yeah.
So
we wash our hands.
We washed our hands. We did. We did wash our hands.
If Jay had the potential to be sick, he probably would have told us.
No, yeah, I wouldn't.
Exactly.
I would have considered it immediately.
He jokes about everything, but he won't joke about health.
No.
Exactly.
I will say the most disappointing thing that has come out of this whole scenario so far on a basic level for me is I'm not gonna say that I am neurotic about being hygienic. Like, I mean, yeah, I take showers. Yes, like I wash my hands normally. Like, you go to the washroom, you wash your hands. Very simple practice for me.
Indeed.
And
I don't, should be.
Yeah, and when I notice when folks, go into a public washroom and like, line up at the urinal and then
oh my god, that drives me berserk.
Three of us will wash our hands, but then you notice guy number 4 totally doesn't.
Oh my
and
god,
I'm just like, what the hell?
That drives me berserk.
And then like
I see it all the time. It drives me nuts.
Yeah, with these like new sort of like
you
numbers
see people at the urinal.
Yeah, dude, what are you doing?
In the washroom, God.
Yeah. But yeah, when you notice when somebody doesn't like wash their hands after, I'm like, I don't want to say anything because it's kind of like your own thing, but like, first of all,
please?
You, and second of all, like now it's been like magnified, and like those people should be shunned.
I'm kind of like, please wash your hands. I don't want your poo-poo, pee-pee hands touching things.
I'm the kind of person who wash my hands like as infrequently as possible, like basically only after going to the bathroom and only while cooking.
But I will say that this.
But now totally... I've had to like do it more. I was like, yeah, my hands are kind of dirty right now. I'll just go wash them for no reason.
Dio, as a skincare goddess, can you help? Can you recommend some like friggin' better soaps or whatever, because my hands are getting destroyed.
Oh yeah, if your hands are getting kind of rough. Okay, so I personally,
like, my hands were not good in the first place, but now they're getting
absolutely nailed. You need some hand lotion. Yeah. Get some hand
Also, straight up, the hand sanitizer, the gel stuff, it just dries your hands out.
Yeah,
right
it's
away.
because it's alcohol.
It is.
It's alcohol. Get some proper hand soap. Doesn't matter what kind, but ideally it's hand soap.
Yeah.
If you have to use dish soap, fine, but that's just going to dry the shit out of your hands. Mm-hmm. Get some nice fancy bar soap or the pump soaps and some Jergens or some St. Ives or some Aveeno and just rub that shit in your hands. And
we have a nice bathroom soap at home that foams up and it's coconut and vanilla scented and it's the best smell ever.
I just recently bought some new shaving gel because I just ran out, and I got some with aloe in it because I was
just like, aloe is good for you. I have aloe.
I just comb my face with our aloe plant.
Yeah,
he just rubs it in the aloe plant. Like, he doesn't break it or anything. He just like
just rubbing the
succulents shall give me their power.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I like, it's been pretty maddening this last few days of just how much information is coming through.
Yeah.
How much?
I mean, like,
let's not give any information because by the time people hear this, it's going to change.
Listen,
we're not giving information.
I'm not giving information. I'm reading based off of the current report that I have, which is March 16th at 4:50 p.m. So there could be changes. This is contextual.
There will be changes.
It's pretty interesting to watch, like, the amount of cases
change it's crazy.
In Alberta.
Today we had 18 new cases.
Yeah, so we're at 74 cases total now.
Yesterday
in the
we got
region.
17. Yesterday we had 17. The biggest concern that we have right now is we are no longer in the travel category for new cases. We are in community transmission.
It is now interpersonal, where it's people meeting other people. Yeah. And we're now at a rate where we're seeing that roughly we're either doing the same amount of new cases per day or we're doubling the amount of cases per day.
Yeah, and we're the problem is you don't know at what part of the curve we're at right now.
Exactly.
We have to assume that we're behind, though.
Yeah.
Behind the curve. We have to assume that we haven't hit the fan.
Yeah.
We still have to.
I agree. But it is just kind of wild. Other interesting fact is that of the cases in Alberta, significantly more than half of them are in Calgary.
Yes.
Like 52 of them are in the Calgary zone, and 18, which is the next highest number, are in Edmonton.
Mm-hmm.
So Calgary's so fun that even the virus wants to be here.
Dude, the virus is partying in Cowtown. Let's go.
I have nothing to add to that, really. It's tough, right? Like, you can't... Well, I mean, it's not like you want to wish it anywhere else. That's
exactly.
Like, you can't really just be like, boy, Italy could use more.
Right? Like,
oh no.
No, like, right? That's the thing.
We have it. Calgarians, wash your damn hands.
Stay away from each other.
Watching people partying on Miami Beach in Florida was kind of like a
there was a thing down in I think it was Tennessee where there was just bars filled with people last week.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, you're gonna see a spike.
Yeah,
there was one video on Twitter where it was just one guy in a hazmat suit dancing to Cruel Angel's Thesis.
Oh,
in
Italy, yeah.
In Italy, yes.
That's
while
truly,
all the people quarantined in their apartments.
We've reached top culture.
Sing for him.
That's peak human culture.
Well, I remember the CDC report for Florida is predicting that Miami is gonna see a surge of over 100,000 cases.
in positive news, nature is overtaking places where people are sort of quarantining themselves now. Like,
Neat.
so yeah, in Italy being so hard hit and like everything's closing down, for I think the name is Trieste Harbor or docks or something like that, where normally there's like a lot of ships going around, so dolphins know to stay away. They've had sightings of dolphins re-enter the area only after the last 5 days of people just not being there or
Wow.
They're just like
activity ceased.
We can come and enjoy.
Yeah, so obviously when we're gone, like the whole scenario, like I'm sure you've all seen those post-apocalyptic movies or like images of like what will the world like if humans are gone, and it's like in 100 years things will be reclaimed. No, in like 10 days.
10 days, nature's gonna show up and be like, yoinky's mine now.
Well, that's how it is. Nature abhors a vacuum.
Exactly.
A family of raccoons would just move into our house next day.
Exactly.
The forbidden cats.
There'll be so many more bunnies.
They're the forbidden cats. Listen, if
there'd
they're
be
cold,
so many more bunnies.
If you're cold, they're cold.
Unlimited bunnies.
Not to be like weird, but like, so you have a cat and a dog.
Yes,
we do.
Would they survive without you?
Our cat definitely.
Our dog definitely not.
You don't think Elia would be smart enough?
Oh hell no!
It's not that she wouldn't be smart enough. She can't open doors.
Yeah, she's too little.
But why do you think it's Vincent, right?
Vinny.
Okay. Sorry, Vincent is the formal.
Yes.
It is, actually.
Vinny, does Vinny know how to get out somehow that I'm not aware of?
She'd figure it out.
I think Ilya's just too small. Like, if you put a big enough stair in front of her, she can't get around it.
This is true. I've been to your house and you have a little step just so she can get onto the couch and stuff like that. So
like if something was just a little bit high, she wouldn't be able to reach it.
That's sort of hilarious and very sad.
Like, I think she wouldn't be okay.
Yeah. Well, I just think that's
humans
be the case
can't
with
go
a lot
extinct
of pets.
because this adorable ball of fluff needs me.
Yeah.
Exactly. I have to protect her.
Anything else that you guys are sort of up to during your Coronacation?
Working from home, streaming hopefully a little bit more, and drinking a lot of beer.
Yeah.
Like Dio said, I've had beer 3 of the last 4 days.
Were they Coronas?
No. Fuck no.
Oh, dude, we missed the opportunity. I didn't even think about it.
You would have to pay me to drink Corona.
You don't like Corona?
No.
It's fine. Like, it's not my favorite beer, but it's fine.
It's a beer.
Like, if someone gave me a Corona, I would gladly enjoy it and I would thank them. But I would never pay money that I have worked for, that I have sweated for. I would not hunt that Corona.
Here's the thing. I'm going to go ahead and say, and these aren't even like predictions. These are like, if the world, if people were so smart enough, like companies were so smart enough, or entrepreneurs of the streaming variety were so smart enough, they could really capitalize right now. If you are a game dev and you were like, I'm gonna release my game in a month, you push that
you
out now.
Push it out
and you're
now.
like, and we're like, we'll just patch like mistakes, but we're like, you push out your games, you stream as much as you can. Netflix and Hulu and Disney Plus and
like, now's your time to capitalize on the market.
You need to if you're Uber, you no longer care about Uber. You care about Uber Eats, and you deliver. That's what we're doing in the San Francisco Bay Area because they shut down restaurants and bars.
Exactly.
So they're only doing deliveries.
Delivery only.
Yeah. Oh yeah. There's shelter in place now?
Damn.
As of when? Just now? Oh damn. What's the definition?
So they
of shelter
can't even get Uber Eats.
I'm gonna look that up real quick here.
Holy moly.
Shelter in place. Yeah, I don't know. I'm assuming
that just means stay where you are.
Stay where you are.
Don't go anywhere.
Unless you are like literally like it is your job to be somewhere else.
So
like
the definition here
or something.
from BusinessInsider.com, they have a little article. Everybody must work from home or stop working, except for those providing essential services like healthcare workers, law enforcement, firefighters, emergency responders. Gatherings of more than 100 people were already banned last week, but now all non-essential events of any size are prohibited. Bars, nightclubs, entertainment venues such as probably theaters, malls,
gyms,
fitness studios, they're all closed. The city is telling residents that trips to the nail salon and dinner parties are also not allowed.
No friendship.
No,
just Kelowna.
No, yeah, no mani-pedis, only suffering. So yeah, I guess that's a thing.
That's basically what Italy and Spain are under right now.
I will say that, like, now this is like not trying to be ignorant. At least in the Bay Area, it's a heavy tech sector. Obviously, there's still essentials. Obviously, there are people working part-time at McDonald's. Obviously, there are folks that are that need streams of income, and I hope they do find the help that they need to get through like this time.
Yeah.
But at least a significant amount of people do work in a sector that allows them to work from home,
where it won't financially impact them.
If you were in sort of like a very, like, let's say this affected like somehow there was a huge like an outbreak up in like northern Alberta by like the
like that's what I think. Is like, imagine if this happened in Fort McMurray.
Yeah, like the oil fields or something.
It would be detrimental.
Yeah, nobody could ever, like, they wouldn't produce anymore.
Because no one would be able to work. Like, nothing would happen.
Well, as far as that goes, across Canada, they've already changed EI rules so that you can collect after 1 week of undue loss.
Oh yeah, that's great, but like in the U.S., that's not the case.
Oh yeah, the U.S. is screwed.
It is not the case. So
yeah, there was Norway threw some shade at the
did.
U.S. the other day.
Was it Norway or Denmark?
It was Norway.
I think it was Norway. It was something along the lines of, they're like,
the U.S.
Norwegian residents must make their way home now. If you're in like areas that have poor healthcare support, like support and management systems, such as the United States, please leave and come home, and we'll figure out things when you get back. So I thought that was just it's not a secret.
Burn.
It's not a secret.
But yeah, I've been spending my Coronacation from home, having beer, drawing a little bit. You know what? One thing I should draw is, I should draw Corona-chan.
Should you?
I don't know. Should I?
I feel like there's got to be already a Corona-chan.
There is.
There is. I've seen her.
She's cute.
I've seen her. She's pretty cute. I've seen a couple of renditions.
She's way cuter than Ebola-chan.
Her laughter is infectious.
You could. Very infectious.
Of course.
50 to 70% of the people of the population will enjoy her joke.
Yes, I should mention that
Chinese.
It's a little on the nose how she's being depicted, given that people are already kind of uncomfortable with how many US politicians have been calling it the China virus.
Yeah.
Not even the Chinese virus or the virus that originated in China, but the China virus.
Yeah.
Which is a bit of a...
I mean, it wasn't it's not a surprise to see it.
That's a little bit much. I have no real issue calling it the Wuhan virus, because that is extremely descriptive. It's where it was found to originate.
That's descriptive. The China virus is not
That's
descriptive.
a problem.
But yeah, so she's depicted as like a demon girl in a keep. Oh my god, the memes are kind of good.
The memes are
amazing.
She's depicted as a girl, like a demon girl. She's got bat wings, and a keep-how, and she's got like two of the buns on her head.
Yeah.
The buns look like the coronavirus.
Yeah, they look like the virus with little spikes coming out of them.
She is extremely
Why isn't there
cute.
a pangolin version?
I've seen pictures of her. Oh yeah, true, the pangolin version.
Nope, there's no pangolin version.
I've already seen pictures of her depicted with Ebola-chan. If you've never seen that character, that exists.
Yeah,
too.
Ebola-chan. Here we go.
Yeah.
She just looks like a little
nurse.
So,
the disease waifus continue.
Right. Oh, in other very fun news, there's like a small, it's not specifically human human transmissible or like a major human concern right now, but in the Philippines there's a small outbreak of bird flu. So in case you thought your day was already bad,
here we go again.
Right.
This wild ride never ends.
No. How do I get off Mr. Bones' wild ride?
But yeah, the
ride never ends.
Disease waifus have existed for a long time. I was just watching. There's a YouTuber that I watch. Her name is Lavender Town, and she often.
Oh, I didn't watch that video of hers. Was it good?
Well, I was just about to talk about it, sir.
Okay. Talk about it. Jeez. How aggressive.
B-E, aggressive.
She draws lots. She does lots of drawing videos where she'll redraw characters based on their book descriptions or whatever. Right. She did one on diseases as characters. So she did older diseases.
Right.
So she did cholera, the Black Plague, and what was the other one? What's the one that affected the lungs?
Many.
I know
Tuberculosis.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's the one. So she did those 3.
I had in my. I was like, it starts with the T, but the first thing that came up was typhoid.
Yeah,
I
that's
was
what
like,
was
it's not
happening.
typhoid.
Was going through my brain too, but I knew
Yeah.
it wasn't right. But as soon as you said T, I was like, yeah, TB, tuberculosis. So,
Typhoid Chan's character would definitely be named Mary.
Yeah.
She did look like a Mary. Now that you say that, thinking back to the video,
She looked like
she
Well,
a
that's
did
Mary.
tuberculosis,
look like a
wasn't it?
Mary.
Yeah. No, it was typhoid Mary.
Yeah.
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 Well, now she's tuberculosis Mary.
She's if your disease starts with a T and you're a waifu of that.
Your name is Mary.
Yep.
But so I mean, and they were really cool interpretations
Yeah.
of like what they would look like as scary demons or scary monsters, and I thought that was kind of cool. So,
Is it really okay to be humanizing deadly viruses
That's
and diseases?
the real question.
But
is,
here's
like,
the thing. I'm gonna go.
Should you
ahead
really
and say
be
that
cashing in on the memes off
Humanity-
things that have killed people?
not humanity, people. Period. We just have this whole thing where we like
Anthropomorphize things.
anthropomorphize everything we can. Like if it has a little like there's a term for like if you see
People
something
have
that looks
literally
like it has a face,
anthropomorphized
There's a term for that.
windows.
Oh yeah, like when people see like
a little face in like a chair or like
chair
a
or
little like
wall
any
or
The
other
Man
thing.
in the
like-
Moon.
Yeah, there's actually a term for that. I
Right.
can't remember that. I'll look it up really quick.
yeah,
but
or when people
like,
see
we're-
Jesus Christ
yeah,
and a
and
piece of
people
buttered
will
toast.
humans will also group bond with anything too. Like we pack bond with stuff.
Yeah, that's true. We do.
It's yeah.
Humans are
It's
weird.
like oh like that you go to the store and you're just gonna go buy a lemon and there's like 85 lemons, but you find the one that like looks a little like sadder than the others
And you
because
want
I don't know, it's
that
like
one.
maybe that one won't get chosen.
I will
so
end
I'll
this
choose it.
lemon's suffering.
Yeah.
You know what? Now that you mention that, it does seem like it's just the combination of 2 really weird.
I don't want
pieces of
sad
human
lemons. I
psychology.
want
Why? That's
happy
what it's called.
lemons.
Pareidolia.
Yeah, so it's a combination of pareidolia,
Yeah.
and then also the fact that humans have a really bad habit of coping with traumatic events or scary events or
By sort of
fear
like
by
with
laughing.
imagination.
Oh yeah,
and
humor is
absurdity.
the best coping mechanism.
Yeah, like imagination and absurdity.
Yeah, look at
and
the
humor.
Joker. The Joker knows. The Joker is one of the most enduring. Actually, I want to. I haven't seen that movie yet. The new one.
I need to see it too.
I wanna see
haven't
it.
seen it yet,
Yeah,
but
I don't know what that has to do with anything, but
The Joker would like Corona-chan.
yeah, he would love her.
The Joker probably like he's like disease waifus are my waifus.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but disease waifus always seem like C to D tier. If you want the S tier waifus, you know where you go.
Where do you go?
Fighting games.
Fighting. You must
Fighting
explain
games
because I
always
play fighting
have
games.
the best waifus.
I play many fighting games. I don't think that I consider that. Well, I don't really have waifu interests. That's the other thing, I guess.
I mean, I like waifus, but at the same time, like MOBA games and mobile games have a lot of waifus.
The
A lot
problem
of
with
good
mobile games
waifus.
is that like they never have one waifu that they just keep polishing and making the best they can possibly be. It's more like we need a new waifu this
Saber.
week.
What
Saber
about
is like the
Saber?
worst actual Saber in Fate Go.
But she keeps getting new versions. She keeps getting new faces.
Because the original Saber was just that awful.
So they keep capitalizing off of how much people love her and want her to be good by making new ones that are better.
Saber also exists in a fighting game.
But she's not.
In fact,
from a
she was in a fighting game before she was in a mobile game.
But she's not.
Here's
from
the
a
thing.
fighting
I need to know what, like which what's a top tier fighting waifu?
Top tier fighting waifu, Poison.
Interesting.
That
That was not the answer I was expecting.
I don't think that's the right answer.
I think
think
we
you're
all.
very wrong.
I think 3 people in this room just told Angelo he has terrible taste.
Yeah, I think you're very wrong.
Okay, right off the top of my head, Chun-Li. Chun-Li,
Mm,
I mean,
Judy.
no, the real world
Cammy,
version of Chun-Li is
Like
waifu.
I'm only even going in Street Fighter. If you go to like Blue Blue, like fucking what's her name? Wait, no, I'm thinking Guilty Gear.
Real world Chun-Li is
yes.
Oh,
I
yeah,
I
is
talked about
actual
Real
waifu.
World Chun-Li on stream, and made the mistake of opening her Instagram
it's
on
her.
stream while she was doing the hip abductors movement. And I was like, maybe that's not appropriate for Twitch.
Every
Terrifying.
girl in Guilty Gear and Blaze Blue is good.
Yes, I agree with you.
Oh, so Bridget?
Yes.
Yeah, Bridget's great.
Oh,
Bridget's
I see.
super cute.
Bridget's at least as good as Poison.
I think you got your priorities in the wrong order there. Once again. Yeah, fighting games have a lot of good waifus. I would agree.
What makes a good waifu? Because like we've had this very limited conversation before about like waifu, and like Angelo, I don't know if you remember, but
there's
like,
a lot of things.
I told you like
waifu.
my favorite like anime waifu is like an actual waifu because I guess I'm just vanilla as shit.
Okay, so here's my argument. A good waifu has to, one, like obviously be a character that you're attracted to. Like
Sure.
you like looking at them, and you like looking at them. Doesn't matter if other people like looking at them or not, but you like looking at them. Two, a good waifu has a way for you to interact with that waifu. So they're in a show and they're in the show enough for you to see them. Or they're in a game and you can play as them in a game or you can interact with them a lot in the game. And three, a good waifu has good waifu content. In that you don't just see that waifu one time and then you never see them again. You can always get new shit of that waifu. Which is why video game characters make pretty good waifus. Because you'll always get waifu DLC if people realize that
waifu DLC.
Your waifu is profitable. Well, yeah, so like if I think of like one of my favorite characters right now is like Miss Fortune from League of Legends. That character has existed for a long time.
Yeah, she has.
She's probably like an 8 or 9-year-old character by now in like the league.
God, she's only 8 years old, Dia.
Listen, but she's 24.
Disgusting.
Okay.
I think the reason why fighting games have the best waifus is because they're all dangerous waifus.
Yeah.
They're all the kind who would break your bones if you disrespected them. And like, if you guys have seen Black Lagoon, Balalaika is easily the best waifu.
I mean,
in Black Lagoon.
Honestly, all I'm really hearing is that Angelo's a bottom.
Yeah, I was about to say.
I don't think that has anything to do with it.
We've diagnosed something here. It's not that fighting games have the best waifus. It's that Angelo
wants to be broken.
Fighting games have the best waifus for Angelo because Angelo wants the shit beat out of him by a cute girl.
Yes.
That's the difference here.
I have a question. This is away from the whole waifu thing. So
Look,
Riot's making a new game. What?
Yes,
she's a Russian mob boss, and she will make you disappear, and no one will ever find the body.
Yes, and
don't get me wrong.
I mean, we understand.
Like, don't get me wrong. I have no problem with like a strong waifu. I just it's not an absolute need that she will.
What's wrong with danger waifus?
Nothing.
You want them the most, which informs us a lot about
you, not a lot about waifus.
Yeah. So Riot's coming up with a new game.
Yes, Valorant.
Valorant. And I was just wondering what your thoughts are because obviously, you do a lot of Overwatch, but you've moved away a bit, or at least you've diversified, shall we say, into League, and you do like your MOBAs a bit.
Yeah.
And Riot is coming out with Valorant, which
so excited.
Yeah, it looks to me basically if CS had Counter-Strike had superpowers.
It's CS:GO with waifus, and that's all I wanted.
Yeah.
Like for me, I'm like,
though?
Okay, let me.
Look, just because they're not super dominating, breaking your back waifus doesn't mean they're not waifus.
No, I'm not saying that because Overwatch has waifus.
Well, okay,
waifus sold Overwatch.
Let me get there. So I loved TF2, and then TF2 stopped being TF2. Or I had all the fun I could have in TF2, and Overwatch came out, and it was TF2 with waifus, and that's for me, it was a big part of the appeal. It was like it's the game that I love with cute girls. Great, awesome.
Right.
Like, what do I have to complain about? Now, listen, I loved Counter-Strike.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't super into CS:GO in particular, but I liked the gameplay of Counter-Strike.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I used to play CS Source all the time, especially like when I was younger, when it was more relevant.
Mm-hmm.
So the idea of CS:GO style gameplay with Riot character design is just like, yeah, that's the thing I want. That's the thing I want. And they've been doing some of the character reveal trailers, and I love them. I am super into, I believe her name is Viper, and she looks like Shigo from Kim Possible, but like the glow up
Sure,
like,
sure.
mid-20s version.
Yep.
And I love it, and it looks like a lot of fun, and I'm super excited.
I think that there is. I think there is a lot of potential there. I don't know if the market specifically exists because I find that FPS is not just a genre in its own now. FPSs
That's true.
have two types, which is you either want a sort of more Overwatch, more fun-ish, or like FPS,
You want okay, so the way I
like
would
powers and
categorize
stuff
it,
like that, or you have a realistic, more war game-ish, like Counter-Strike or Insurgency or
yeah, I guess
Call of Duty, that kind of thing.
that kind of
So
thing.
I wonder, I like.
Where would you place TF2 on that scale?
It's a hero-based shooter.
Yeah, it's a hero-based shooter.
Same
Like, so
thing
yeah,
as
I guess
Overwatch.
that's the thing. It's hero-based versus sort of traditional team-oriented, like team,
Yeah.
not team
Team
comp,
class based.
but strategy team-based,
Yeah.
or whatever you want to call it. Sort of like nobody has a specific power over someone else. It's a purely skill, and then you choose your gun, and that's pretty much it.
Yeah. I think
Right.
I think this game, to give you a comparison, would be closest or most analogous to Rainbow Six Siege. That is probably a game that is close in terms of like you have a more traditional FPS style of game,
Right.
but then you have heroes and abilities on top of it.
So Overwatch.
I just wonder. Yeah, again, I just
No,
wonder. I just wonder
because-
if that market specifically exists. You know.
I
Like-
think it does. Like I know there's a lot of like talk where people are like, oh, it's gonna be the Overwatch killer, it's gonna be the CS:GO killer, it's gonna be the Call of Duty. No, I don't believe in any of that shit. But I think it's going to hit that specific niche of people who really enjoy really cool looking, unique characters, but want a very tight competitive experience.
Have they said if it's going to be free to play or not?
Yes, it is
It
free
is?
to play.
It might eat into TF2 more than anything.
It might.
But I mean, I don't.
Surprisingly,
Like,
TF2 is
TF2
still
is-
fairly popular.
That's the thing. TF2 is like 15 years old,
Yeah,
Yeah.
right? Like,
but
if
the reason it has any
eats
popularity
away
at
at
all is
if
that
it-
it's free.
if it eats away at TFT, like it's kind of like a Soviet.
Yeah.
Exactly.
No, like no offense to Valve or anything, like
Yeah.
just like most games do not get to run for 5 years, let alone 10 or 15, right?
Yeah. And I don't
So-
think
Well, I mean,
don't
there's
think-
Counter-Strike.
I don't think Valve is concerned.
But they
like,
have multiple iterations.
Yeah.
So.
I don't think Valve is concerned at all. And I don't think Riot are specifically gunning for any particular
Well,
game.
I mean, I could be wrong because I don't know exactly how they're planning to roll out the game in terms of like servers and stuff. But the one thing that you can't take away from TF2 is if you can't provide sort of just like fun fuck around lobbies where you're either rocket jumping around or
Yeah.
trading or doing that
Well-
kind of stuff. If you're just going to be focused on sort of delivering the
Competitive
FPS
experience.
sort of game, you
think-
can't compete there.
I don't think they're that's the thing is I
Yeah.
don't think they're trying to compete. And to explain why I think that is, one thing that Riot has been very known for and what has helped the success of League of Legends is they are very focused on the competitive experience. They will still give you, if you want to go practice or you want to go fuck around or you want to go have fun, we'll give you these alternative modes and these alternative ways of playing and you can have them, but they're not their priority.
Yeah.
They're there, but they're not a priority.
And
And that was kind of what made it a little bit more distinct, or what kind of separated it way back when at the beginning of the genre. It made it more distinct from, say, Dota, which was a little bit more of a mix between
Competitive
there is
focus.
competitive, but it's a lot more casual.
and again, the thing that you will
and for
not
playing.
touch upon from like no other FPS that I personally know of, like that's fairly popular, has this, which is just how moddable TF2 is, how
And
moddable.
I don't think that's something they're aiming for either.
No, I don't think they can. Like you just, you look at the history of each company and what they sort of
if
offer
TF2 was
for
released
amateur
today,
developers, it's
or
completely
even
different.
within the last 5 years, it probably wouldn't have been moddable. And even then, the
we
mods
don't
that you
know
see
that.
are more on the server side.
You don't know that,
Like,
because
It's more like
So-
custom servers rather than
like Global Offensive came out, I want to say about 8 years ago at this point.
yeah,
Like,
2012ish.
yeah, 8 maybe 9 years ago, and it's still very moddable. And it's like yeah, that's still 7 years removed from TF2's release. So just knowing that, I think that's just part of their business model, is that they've always wanted to encourage that, because otherwise you wouldn't even bother having like Steam Workshop, for example.
Yeah,
that's true.
I think maybe to dial it back, what I mean is that there's a very specific audience that Riot is targeting with Project A, and it's people who want to play an FPS game and specifically want a competitive esports style experience.
Right.
And right now in the FPS space, that doesn't really exist. Like, Rainbow Six Siege is growing towards competitive now, but it's not, the top tier.
It's not in the top, like, 3 that you would think.
Yes.
Yeah.
And Overwatch League is doing good, and yes, competitive Overwatch as an FPS exists, but a lot of people don't want to play that style of FPS. They don't want to play a hero-based shooter.
Yeah.
And same thing like with your Apex Legends, your Fortnite, your
Battle Royale.
Like, a lot of people don't want to play Battle Royales. A lot of people love Call of Duty. Call of Duty is a very beloved esport game because it is just so stable and strong as an esport.
Stability is a big thing, yeah.
Right?
Like,
but people want the fun of characters.
That's sort of always the big balance, right? Because, like, you look at how simple a game like Counter-Strike essentially is.
Yeah.
And yes,
Jay, were you playing CS:GO when they put in the revolver?
No, but I played Counter-Strike 1.6 when they put in a shield.
Yeah, that shield was a fucking bullshit move.
The shield was like a huge game changer, sort of, in terms of how you approach things tactically. But just as a thing here, like, balancing, the biggest thing is, like, and you know this very well with Overwatch, balancing champions.
It's not easy.
It's tough. It's tough as shit. They've literally rewritten entire champions and their entire idea of how they can run their skill set, because it affects the game greatly. Like, your team comps change entirely from sort of like a low level to all the way up to the very top, grandmaster level bullshit.
Yeah.
Whereas like in Counter-Strike, it's this Deagle has always done exactly what a Deagle does, and you can expect exactly what the Deagle is going to do.
The Deagle has been the same since Counter-Strike 1.3.
I want to add something on that note. One, Riot has a lot of experience balancing a character-based game. They have 10 years of balancing League of Legends, for better or for worse. But
2D is a lot different than 3D.
It is a lot different, but the one thing that they are doing is the things that will change will be the characters and their abilities, not the guns. Every character can access the same amount of guns.
Sure.
And the way that the game is played competitively is that you don't start off with all your abilities. You start off with no abilities, and you have to choose, instead of buying guns, buy abilities or buying abilities.
So that's sort of like the MOBA progression model.
Yeah.
I would say.
I feel like heavy movement plus shotguns are going to be broken.
Oh yeah,
again,
for sure.
the thing is like, it's just working in vertical space changes a lot.
Dynamic. It's gonna change things, and like, the game isn't gonna be perfect at launch. In fact, it's never gonna be perfect. But I think the way that they've built the game and the way that they're approaching the game is very different, in that anti-cheat is built into the game, not something that they build onto the game after.
Here's sort of a weird question. I mean, obviously it's not exactly the same, but is Valorant maybe a sort of response or competitor more so to Smite? Because Smite's also played.
Smite.
I haven't played a lot of Smite, but Smite's a MOBA that's played in the 3D space, right? Like, it's played,
I haven't played it
as like, it's a third person. You're walking around, like, you've seen screenshots though, right?
Yeah, I've seen screenshots of it, but
right? Like, I guess none of us have.
I don't know.
None of us have played Smite.
How many players?
None of us have played Battleborn.
I've played Battleborn.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Why?
It was fun.
You're wrong.
No, it was fun.
Like, I wonder how. Like, Smite obviously has much more MOBA leanings than it does FPS leanings, but I feel like it's sort of, they're trying to take Smite and then maybe include that.
I disagree. I think, like, seeing the amount of games that they have in the works and that what they're working on, I think they just had a team of people who wanted to make an FPS.
I guess. Could
Right?
be.
In the same way that like they're creating an RPG right now, they're
Right.
creating a platformer right now. They have
Aren't they making a fighting game?
They have a fighting game that they're working on.
Fighting games have the best waifus.
They have a platformer that is soon to be released. Like I think they just had a bunch of teams who were like, we just want to make these kinds of games.
Yeah, that makes sense. Like I mean, they also just have like a character, like what they have done really well as well is like just having an existing character roster that they can pull things for. Like
Yeah, exactly.
you know, why can't you have League of Legends the fighting game or
Exactly.
League of Legends the platformer
Or League of Legends the RPG.
Why couldn't Miss
Why
Fortune
can't you?
just be a first-person character?
Yeah,
First-person
Exactly.
camera character.
it's not impossible.
And that's how Valorant got done.
Probably.
Maybe. But yeah, like it's just a good little sort of insight into sort of what they're trying to achieve is
A mystery.
a little bit of a mystery, but I can see where their experience comes into play and sort of their desires come into play because it's been very impressive in that they have basically existed solely on a single IP
For so long.
for so long since I was in high school at least.
For 10 years.
At least 10 years, right?
They-
Or is
they
it just recently?
They just passed Riot 10.
Okay, well there you go. So, I don't know. I'm looking forward to it. I probably won't play just because I'm so burnt out on first person shooters. Like I'm
Fair.
I'm into RPGs, action RPGs, and more single player than multiplayer. But I still play some multiplayer here and then.
Yeah.
But yeah,
For me, it's
I'll
just
check it out, though.
it hits the right spots. It hits the right itch, and I'm excited.
the only
Let
FPS
me in.
the only FPS I want to play is actually I kind of want to get back into Battlegrounds.
I can't do it. I can't do Battlegrounds again.
I haven't played in like a year and a half. So I don't know if
but
I just
can't
don't
do
know.
it.
I just don't know if things have changed, like gameplay wise, mechanic wise, that would really frustrate me, or if whatever. I just like I like brutality, sort of in my FPSs.
That's fair.
Yeah.
To each their own.
Actually,
right?
I just got shout out to oh god, I say shout out, but I can't. I need to remember the name of the studio. New World Interactive. New World Interactive.
Yes, that's correct.
Yes, because they are the makers of Insurgency. They have a Calgary studio.
Yes, they do.
Yes, and I recently just got a code for Insurgency, so I'm gonna check that out for a little bit.
Nice.
It'll be
Supporting
fun.
local. Let's go.
Yeah, why not? That's the other thing out of all of this coronavirus stuff. I've been trying to support more local, generally speaking.
Yeah, which is
It's been
good
tough.
because you don't want your small business owners to suffer too much just because they can't work or they can't have direct customers and
Yeah,
you know
it's been
all
crazy
the
stuff.
things that come along with a pandemic.
Yeah. On the other hand, Amazon has been saying that they want to like hire 100,000 new employees
Good lord.
because of just how many
How much
shipments.
volume.
Yeah,
Yeah.
volume increase. Like people are getting the sort of the right idea, to be honest, to be like getting their stuff sort of shipped in and whatnot.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, like holy crap, I don't think they could handle it right now either. So,
Yeah.
anyways, I think that's pretty much it for this episode. Thank you very
Nice-oo!
much.
We did it.
Thanks for listening.
Thank you very much, everybody.
Yep. Stay healthy. Stay
Wash
safe
your
everywhere out
hands.
there.
Don't
Yeah.
touch your face.
Touch other people's faces. They didn't say do not touch other people's faces. Oh wait, yes they did.
Go
Social
to the
distancing.
Winchester, have a pint, and wait for this thing to all blow over.
Yes. And with that, I guess we're out. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.